You need 157-mile-per-hour winds or upwards of that to get to a Category 5, which was Andrew. The last time a Category 5 struck the U.S. was Andrew. A lot of people, of course, remember that storm along the Florida coastline. It's been 10 years since they've had a major hurricane, and this could be it. This is Matthew. Hurricane warnings all up and down the East Coast, up towards portions of Georgia, as well as South Carolina. So there is the storm on radar. You can see the counterclockwise motion as well. We could potentially see tornadoes with this. So tornado watch could be issued within the next couple of hours. So here's the best estimate that we have right now in our future radar, coming very close to Port St. Lucie. This is Friday overnight tonight into tomorrow, and then scraping the coastline as a major hurricane for hundreds of miles up towards South Carolina. Here's the NHC forecast wind field. So there's the hurricane force winds extending 60 miles from the center of this storm. Look at this. I mean, we're talking about hurricane force winds all along the East Coast for a matter of 60 hours. That's why this storm could be so devastating for the East Coast, and that's why we have so many evacuations, perhaps the biggest evacuations in that state. And again, maintaining Category 4 within this track until Friday as it moves into the coast of Georgia, and then hopefully weakening, and then we'll have to watch it as it potentially could recurve. Storm surge, real quick. One of the biggest killers with these hurricanes is the storm surge, as well as the flooding, the inland flooding, and we could see upwards of 10 feet on top of high tide. So that's why it's crucial for all of these areas that are susceptible to storm surge. You need to be evacuating and moving inland, moving away from this. And then, of course, we're going to deal with the potential for 8 to 10 inches, maybe a foot of rainfall. And John Scott, the fact that we're going to have a major hurricane going up the coast, hundreds of miles, for 60 hours of major hurricane force winds, I mean, this could be a historic storm for not only Florida, but for the whole U.S.
I'm one of those who was there when Andrew hit in
I know.
92. You know, the interesting thing about this storm, normally if they crisscross the state, if you're north of it, you can, you know, drive up into Georgia. Yep. But this one is just going to be mowing right up the state. Kind of hard to get away from it unless you go over to the West Coast.
Well, and that's what people are doing. They are going to the West Coast, but it's also worth pointing out that we have advisories that stretch into the Gulf, along the Gulf of Mexico, the west coast of Florida. So that's what people are doing. They're moving westward, but they're not going to escape. You're still going to feel tropical storm force winds, and I'm concerned about, you know, inland flooding as well with this storm system. So you're absolutely right. Typically with a hurricane, you see a landfall, right, and it goes out the other side. This is just going to scrape the coastline with a major hurricane, and that's why this one's so rare, and that's why in some cases the National Weather Service is saying, you know, devastating impacts along the coast, potentially.
There are wet hurricanes and dry ones. I mean, some don't bring all that much rain. It's fairly rare, but what are they talking
Doesn't
about?
look good.
Here?
Well, you can see most
First
of the
it was
rainfall
Andrew,
here is offshore.
now it's Matthew.
Onshore, and really it depends on how close the center comes, right? This is